everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Megan, and today I'm going to be discussing the first book I read this year. I just finished it. It took me 4 months to complete this book, but it is called The Terminal List by Jack Carr. There is a TV series on Prime that is based off this book. However, I wanted to read the book before I watched the TV show. So let's get into it. Although it took me 4 months to read this book, I actually really enjoyed it. I do not have much knowledge on military operations or weaponry, and I feel this book covers a lot of that. So if you were into that, I think you would like this book because it is very narrative. There isn't much dialogue in the book because there is so much knowledge on the military operations and how things work and the weaponry, which honestly I kind of enjoyed because it kind of gave you kind of an inside look on how these men and women live their lives who are in the military. It's obviously from third person, so whoever's like telling you the story is telling you about, you know, all of the different characters, so you get the whole entire picture. Sometimes like the main character will have its own scenes, and then you will see, you know, scenes from like the government or something like that, which I think is really cool because it helps you as the reader put things together that maybe other characters don't know about, or they are trying to figure out that information. While reading the book, I'm thinking of the TV series. I'm thinking, how are they going to make this a TV series if there isn't much dialogue in it? But then I thought to myself, John Wick series doesn't have a lot of dialogue. But the movies are very good, especially, actually, the last one I didn't really like because I don't really like the plot, but the movie was like a video game. And I guess that's kind of how this is a way, is that certain scenes are so short. It reminds me of like going in Pokemon and you're going to someone and there's like these little blurbs of telling you exactly, you know, what you need to do and things like that. I didn't realize how heavy and deep this novel is going to be. There are definitely some descriptive scenes when it comes to some of the deaths in this book, and I was kind of not prepared for that. There is, spoiler, if you want to read this book, there is a decapitation that happens in the book, and I did not see it coming. And I was on a plane reading that part, and I just closed my book and put it in my bag, and I just needed time after reading that because wow. One of my favorite shows is SEAL Team. If you've never seen SEAL Team, go watch it. It is so good. The later seasons, or each season, it seems like it tends to get darker, and it could become so good, especially on all the missions that they go to. And I know some of the countries, they actually go on location, so you kind of get to see the countries that they are in while they're filming, you know, the storyline for this show. And so while reading this book, it reminded me a lot of SEAL Team and some of the dark things that they go through in the later seasons, especially when it moved to Paramount Plus and streaming. It got super dark, as you know, as well as the language, a lot of profanity. But it's an amazing military drama. I wish I got like more awards. I'm not like big on awards, but it's such a good TV show that I wish it got like more notice or more traction on the award front. Also, reading this book, I didn't realize, I think Jack Carr, I think he used to be in the military or had some association to the military. I didn't know that you needed like the Secretary of Defense approval when writing these type of books, so you don't like give away certain things. But this storyline, in terms of the cancer and using military men as lab rats for this certain drug, like blows my mind. Like nothing surprises me anymore on what happens on a higher level, either in the military or government. I mean, obviously it's government based. And so it really makes you think on like what type of evil there is in the world. It does not surprise me that this type of evil could exist. It reminds me of I think it was the Bourne Legacy, the one with Jeremy Renner. people thought it was like impossible for like scientists to like make a virus or something. And it's like, well, why wouldn't they? Like, why wouldn't these things exist? The more advanced we get, I think the more dangerous it's going to be, because then there's like power involved, there's money involved. And so I think you kind of have to also think that way, is everything that everyone else is doing in our intention? Probably not. So it's really interesting to get this type of perspective and how real it is when you do go into maybe the military, or you're going somewhere where your like life is on the line, you know, especially even if you're like a firefighter or a police officer, or if you're in a profession where maybe you tick someone off, and like these people will come for your family, they will come for everything. And I think that's like the harsh reality of this type of work that people are into, is that it's not just your life at stake, it's the people in your life. Their lives are also at stake. And it's just really sad. It's a really well-written book. And I think there's 7 books in this series that I think I'm going to read, because I do like the main character and the adventures and the missions that he'll probably go on going forward. Even though the end of the book is like ambiguous. I didn't kind of expect the ending. I literally thought Kate was going to explode, and she didn't. So I was like, sweet, because I like Kate. So I'm glad that she survived in the end. And I'm glad that Liz is alive, and it's James. And then the other friend, what is his name? The other friend who helped him, I can't think of his name, but I am intrigued to see how like the 4 of them like go forward. So I'm kind of excited for the next books in this series on what James decides to do. Overall, I really like the book. If you are into military operations or weaponry and that world, I would definitely recommend the book. It is really good. I was reading this book out in public, and a couple of guys came up to me. They're like, "These books are so good." He's like, some of them said the second book in the series is their favorite. So I can't wait to read that one next. But I think the next thing I'm going to do is go watch the series. And someone said online, if you read the book, when you watch the series, do not think of it in the lens of what happens in the book and like the order. If you're trying to watch the series and you're trying to go with the plot in the book, it's going to be difficult to understand. So I thought that was really interesting that someone said that online when I was looking at reviews. So I have to keep in mind while watching the TV series, maybe don't think of every little detail, plot line that happens in the book, because it may slightly alter in the TV show, maybe in order, or maybe certain characters may have different things. So I just gotta remind myself to go into the TV series more open-minded than maybe exactly everything that's happened in the book, because there are some changes based on dramatics. And so sometimes I don't go into adaptations with that mindset. So I think seeing that comment can help. And I will be back for a series review on it. That's it for my review on The Terminal List. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.